Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the art market and its unique relationship between art and power. We know that art is a long-term and stable investment opportunity, but the art market is not a new phenomenon. In fact, it was originated many years ago. Now we're going to see this video about the evolution of the art market.
The patronage phenomenon that developed in the Renaissance is the support of the artistic and cultural activity, especially for the same artists involved in this activity. Among the more famous examples of patronage, there is Florence, where the lords of the city, the Medicis, supported and patronized many artists to add prestige to their households. In the second half of the 17th century, the scientific thought began to classify reality truth models. It influenced strongly the way of conceiving art. At that time, it began to be categorized in styles. In this respect, the independence of the Netherlands was very important because Holland and United Kingdom began to implement modern commercial policies. They were founded on mercantilism or maximization of the exports of national products to other countries. The artworks of the florid Dutch Baroque began to be traded between France and England, becoming real trade goods and creating a real art market. But the appropriation of art with economic and political purposes became stronger in the 18th century when the great heads of states entered the art market to consolidate their power inside and outside their countries. In the 19th century and at the start of the 20th century, with the rise of the European imperialism and the American Industrial Revolution, came into the art market. The two world wars interrupted sharply this trend, and only after the Second World War, commercial activities recovered from the long crisis. This period was very really favorable in artistic and economic terms. Now we will focus on some artistic movements and we will see the 20th century.
So here we are in the second half of 20th century in which we have pop art. Pop art is an artistic movement that highlights the shape and the representation of reality. The recognized master of pop art is obviously Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol was a film director, a director of photography, and artist that transformed the artwork from a single object in a product in series, as in the famous series of Campbell soup cans. This artwork was made in 1962, and with this masterpiece, he confirmed that the tastes of the public had now become standard, and the language of the advertising had now become art. So the consumer object had now become idealization, and the art market had become a Venus. That's why we have right here the Capital Soup Can and the Venus by Tiziano. Obviously, when we talk about the art market, we need to talk about the contemporary art. Contemporary art is a set of artistic movements and trends that arose after the Second World War with different techniques as painting, photography, and digital art. And maybe the aspect that best defines the contemporary art is the difficulty to define it critically. Here in Italy, we have a great example of contemporary art, that is Merle Artista. Merle Artista is an artwork made by Piero Manzoni in 1961, and with this masterpiece, he wants to consist in 19 tin cans, each filled with 30 grams of feces, and he put at these cans the same value of 30 grams of the gold, alluding to the price of an artist who could sell a part of himself to the price of gold. Obviously, this cans had a great success because he was alluding the artistic absurdities as any product was rewarded and considered art not for the value or for the ability of the artist, but only for the notoriety of the artist. So the critics saw this choice to package their thesis as a protest against their artists who saw art as an instrument to perpetuate themselves. So here we are in the 2000s and today with the contemporary art exhibitions that have brought a full interpenetration of art and economy, with auctions also online more and more capable to attracting new buyers. To realize what is the art market today, just thinking that the biggest auction house in the world, Christie's and Sotheby's, we're talking about a value over $2 billion, with Christie's that in 2014 have beaten a statue of Alberto Giacometti, this is the statue, for $101 million. But the art is not limited only in museums and auctions. It can be also represented in public places. So that's why we're going to talk about Banksy. Banksy is an English writer and artist. He's considered the master of the street art. The street art is a visual art that includes those famous arts that are represented in public places, often without a permission. The artworks by Banksy have a satirical theme and highlights the politics, religion, and the culture. His artworks can be found in the bridges, walls, and streets in cities all around the world. One of the most famous artwork by Banksy is Girl with a Balloon. This is a copy made in 2006. And this artwork is famous for the unexpected episode during an auction, because Banksy didn't want to sell his artwork without a polemical show. So when the artwork was auctioned at Sotheby's for £1,042,000, the artwork began to self-destruct with this mechanical paper shredder that was inside the golden frame here in the bottom. And this was his idea. He was very smart, because when we think that a product is damaged and destroyed during an auction, no one is expected to buy it. But it's not the case of this artwork, because the value had increased, because it's the first time that a painting had been destroyed during an auction. Now we're going to see a short video of some of the masterpieces of Banksy all around the world. So, what are the future prospects of the art market? Well, today we can say that the contemporary art is now the engine of the art market, with Christie that declares an improvement of by 30% and Sotheby a performance that grows by 13%. Here in Italy, the situation is not very exciting regards the operation to bring Italian contemporary art on international markets, because the collectors who are really active here in Italy are more and more interested in works that are almost always non-Italian. So we can say that exchanges have decreased compared to 2016 and 2017, and the transaction during the auctions more and more rarely exceed 500,000 euros. Thank you very much.